Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. MLSsoccer.com is where you're at. I'm David Goss with Jonathan Yardley. And today, in the first semifinals of the championship division of the 2015 generation Adidas Cup, it's a simple rivalry. Brazil, Argentina. Palmeiras, River Plate. Should be a great one. We have been excited about this one since we found out that this would be the matchup. River Plate won their group, 3 victories through the group stage to come out with 9 points in first place in the entire championship division. Palmeiras qualifying as the best second place team in the championship division due to their goal differential after falling in the third group game to Eintracht Frankfurt. We'll see Frankfurt versus FC Dallas later. But Jonathan, there's so much to be excited about going into this game.
These are two of the teams everybody's had the most fun watching. And because of that history, Brazil, Argentina, the animosity that exists, let's say it, it's there, and it makes the games between them so exciting. And that's what we're hoping for today. River Plate and Palmeiras, of course, two of the great historical clubs representing each country.
So these two teams waiting to come out. Our referee will lead them out. Jaime Herrera will, you got to say it, attempt to keep this game under control. His assistant referees in this one, Jeff Greason and Jennifer Garner, and his fourth official, Randall Kelly. And they'll have a lot of work to do. Palmeiras came out in this tournament, Jonathan, and they wowed us in their first win over a Philadelphia Union team, maybe a little unprepared for what they saw. But the goal-scoring exploits and the attack of this Palmeiras team have been hugely entertaining to watch so far.
Yeah, and the man we've really focused on is Vitinho. He'll wear number 11. He'll likely start out wide, but drift inside, drift to the opposite wing, drift every which way throughout the game. His free kicks really stole the show on the opening day, but he's good through the run of play as well.
And for this River Plate team, they're lethal in the attack. Franco Lopez, number 7 up top. Enzo Ziccarelli, as well as their number 10, Diego Ivan Amarilla. All lethal, and it's a different style. Palmeiras laid back. They like to play with the ball at their feet, knock it around, enjoy the game. River Plate, you'll see every time they're the opposing team on a kickoff, they scream in one team and run up the field and put that high pressure on. These two teams, these two countries, their differing philosophies in soccer we've seen play out among many fields across the world. And here now at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, another opportunity to watch this matchup. The captain's at midfield right now to shake hands. Kevin Sibilli, the captain, the center back for this River Plate team. And on the other side, Ivandro, number 3, also a center back for Palmeiras. Jonathan, coming into this game, you talked to the coach a little bit before the game. What's the one element you're looking for from either team to change this game?
On the Palmeiras side, it's what they're going to do up front because they're not starting their normal forwards. Tawa, who we've seen, Correa is suspended. So who's going to provide the offense and who's going to kind of link side to side at the top level, not just through the midfield? On the River Plate side, how aggressive will they be, and can they finish as ruthlessly in the final third as they did when they crushed Sporting Kansas City 4-0 yesterday?
And River Plate really, with their intensity, with their style, they were man down against Aspire Academy going into halftime. They came back and won that game 2-0 in the second half. Palmeiras at the same time, they got a great test from San Jose in their second game. They trailed 1-0. They came back to win that one 2-1. In their third group game, they really dominated Eintracht Frankfurt, but couldn't find that finished product. Eventually conceded a goal on a counterattack that dropped them down with a loss there. So it'll be interesting to see this Palmeiras team, how they go about handling the pressure of River Plate. River Plate will kick this one off to get it started for us. And it is the number 10, Amarillo, alongside Franco Lopez. Give you the full lineups for these teams, front to back. We prepare for this kickoff. Jaime Herrera is ready, and we are set. River Plate, Palmeiras, two of the great clubs in the history of this sport. Their U17 Academy teams have come through with a lot of superstar players around the world. We have a chance to see them battle it out here for an opportunity to go to the 2015 Generation Adidas Cup Final on Saturday evening. A throw in now for Palmeiras. And let's start with their starting lineup. In goal, as it's been every game, Vinicius, number 1. From right to left, Pedro at right back, Ivandro, the captain, at center back, Lacerda, number 4, at center back, and Rafael at left back. Right now, out wide right, it's Arter on the ball. Arter snaking by 2 defenders. Good battle there. Looks like the foul's going to go against him. In the midfield for this Palmeiras team, you have Ronatan, Victoria, Luca, and Jefter. And in the attack, Vicinho. And you saw him there, number 16, Arter, who's operated out wide right all tournament. It's been a thorn in opposing teams' defenses. On the other side for River Plate in goal, Ezekiel Muth. The back line, the man you just saw throw it in, Jose Vivanco, alongside Alan Brondino, Kevin Sibeli, our captain, and Bruno Fernandez at right back. In the midfield, Eric Barrios and Christian Yanez. In the holding midfield, Diego Ivan Amaria. We said the number 10, Mauricio Vera, Enzo Ziccarelli on the wings. And up top, number 7, Franco Lopez, who's been on a goal-scoring tear all tournament, is one of the danger men to watch. Vicinho there in a battle with Fernandez. Vicinho comes away with it. He's got open space to run. Good 1-2 there. Gets it wide to Arter. And a foul called and an early yellow card. Jaime Herrera putting down his stamp. I believe it was to Amaria, the number 10, coming in late on Vicinho. And we've seen time after time in this tournament players trying to get a hold of Vicinho and just coming up with air or cleat.
Against Eintracht Frankfurt, Palmeiras lost that game, but they got set piece after set piece after set piece because Vicinho got taken down. Already just 3 minutes in, we see Palmeiras get that same kind of opportunity. Now again, in their opener, Vicinho hit the crossbar with 1 free kick, scored another. What can he do in the semifinals?
So a set piece opportunity here. It's Luca standing next to Vicinho. You can't think it's going to be anyone else than Vicinho. He's got that gorgeous curling ball he can hit with the right foot. Steps over it, curled over the wall, but just wide of that near post. And Ezekiel Muth watches it flash. And like you said, set piece after set piece. But the question is, can they be efficient? Can they be dangerous with them?
I don't think he's warmed up yet. I think that free kick came almost too early for Vicinho, and it was in a really good spot. And they're going to regret that chance, but I think give him 5 more minutes, maybe he puts that on target.
So the ball lost out there off of River from Franco Lopez. Franco Lopez, a month and a half ago, out in Qatar. This River Plate team playing in the Al-Khas International Tournament. Scored goals against Juventus as well as Milan. He's come into this tournament, played well as well. Out here on the left, it's by the first defender, clips that ball in, cleared out of that area, now picked up by Palmeiras. And Jonathan, we were excited. I was excited to see Frankfurt face off against Palmeiras, to see 2 teams that looked to be the 2 best teams in the tournament at the time. And I was actually surprised how dominant Palmeiras was in open play against that Frankfurt team. They didn't get the final product, they didn't get the goal, but amazing to me how dominant they could be against a top quality team.
But for me, that's the problem, right? They scored 4 goals against Philadelphia. Since then, offense has been a struggle. They were down against San Jose. They needed 2 goals in the latter part of the second half to win that one. They didn't find the net against Eintracht Frankfurt. It's great to have the ball. It's great to control the game, but if you're not producing goals in the final third, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, they have Luca, Vicinho, and Arter have been phenomenal setting players up, creating opportunities. They're not that true, pure goal scorer. We said Tawan Tawa has struggled maybe at times up top, and as well now of the suspension of Correa, who's had 2 goals so far in this tournament. The question for Palmeiras is who's going to finish off all their opportunities.
Well, it's interesting. We're looking at this, and it's still early, and we don't know exactly what the coaches drew up for their players, but it almost seems like Palmeiras is trying to match River Plate's system of 2 forwards that are split wide and then a withdrawn forward or attacking midfielder, depending on how you want to look at it, with Luca playing in the middle but very high like a 3rd forward, similar to what River Plate does.
Yeah, River Plate allows Amaria that license to float, and they have the 2 full-time strikers up top in Lopez and Ziccarelli. And it is Ziccarelli on the ball now. He had to run it to his right, looked like Vera. Crossed in there, just long, and out for a throw-in. And to tell you about the excitement behind this game, everyone has watched every team play at times throughout this GA Cup. 3 full days of games have gone through. All of the teams are here in the stands to watch this one go down. There's a group of River Plate players below us who are also here for the Dallas Cup, but Sagantos, who just fell in the last game to Independiente, are in the crowd. The Seattle Sounders, the Portland Timbers, of course not sitting next to each other. DC United, as well as many other MLS sides, are out here to watch these 2 teams face off. Vicinho, it looks like, takes an elbow to the face. Jaime Herrera not convinced.
Yeah, you're not going to get that call. He ran into the back of an arm intentionally.
Still alive now for Palmeiras. The strike comes in, deflected off the captain, Sibeli.
And it fell to the wrong man. Victorio's a defensive midfielder, not clinical, 25 yards and in.
And we saw in the last game, we've seen one from River Plate, that tenacity, that intensity. There's a foul called here against Vicinho, who pushes. It looked like Vera in the back, but we've seen River Plate a red card against Aspire Academy in the second game. A high level of intensity and tenacity, and in the last game, a chippy game between Frankfurt and Palmeiras. A lot of fouls called in that game, a lot of off-the-ball contact or yelling as well.
And Palmeiras took 4 yellow cards, so these teams are feisty as well as skillful.
That one played out. These teams have really given the MLS Academy teams an opportunity to learn, to see that next level at times, that intensity, professionalism from these River Plate players. 5 of the players that would be here with this River Plate U17 currently with the Argentine U17 World Cup qualifying team at the South American U17 Championships. That just finished up. They finished in 2nd place with 8 points. And of course, who do they finish second to? But Brazil. Brazil finishing in 1st place with 9 points. And so this is a River Plate Academy held in high esteem. One of the players who was on this U17 team 2 years ago in Emmanuel Mamana already made his 1st team international Argentina debut as Lopez gets in here. So we're looking at players who are not far from that 1st team step. And it looks like it took a touch, so it's going to go out for a corner kick. First one of the game for this River Plate team.
Palmeiras, meanwhile, has an under-17 Brazilian Cup game tonight, and they're sending mostly under-15s to play it because their primary squad, with a couple of exceptions due to injury, is here in the States.
Corner kick chance now. Played short. The shot whiffed on and cleared in the end by Lacerda. Artur trying to take this chance to counter. Luca putting the pressure on. A mistake from the goalkeeper, but it worked out well for him. That one hit low, but got all the way through. Vera here, floating, great footwork in a tight space from Barrios. And Eric Barrios, a holding midfielder, you'd say himself, but shows that bit of skill. Space now for River. The shot comes in, flashing wide of that far post. Long shot opportunity there from River Plate. Acres of space to run into, but nowhere near going in Vinicius' goal.
We saw River Plate switch the field quickly there, opened up some space for midfielders running through. Maybe wasn't the right guy taking the final shot, but you see how River Plate can be dangerous by spreading the field and then attacking.
Pedro here. He's pushed off the ball. It'll be a throw-in, though, for Palmeiras.
And already you can see when Palmeiras players go to ground, Jaime Herrera is not buying it. It's going to have to really be a foul, like the play we saw in the yellow card, for it to get whistled.
And we saw an odd dynamic in the last game that Palmeiras maybe went down soft 1 or 2 times early. Frankfurt got frustrated, but 99% of what was called was an actual foul. They were just fouling a lot on Palmeiras, and they were extremely frustrated as Vitinho once again goes to the ground. And you know that he expects to come under some serious pressure in this game. That ball just getting away from Vivanco. Back to the goalkeeper, Muth. The man with the ball here, Brandino, probably the biggest player on the field, a hulking presence at the back line. Luca gets it forward to Vitinho. He's able to lay it off, find a teammate. Arter out wide left now. Gets by the first man, takes the shot on, cleared away by Brandino. And now a chance to counter for River. It was strongly cleared away there by Jefter, maybe a little bit harder than he had to. I think he thought he was going to come into some contact, and I believe it ends up as a corner kick.
I don't think anybody knew who that was off of. They were waiting for Jennifer Garner to decide, and she had no hesitation in giving River Plate their second corner.
So we see this game already. End-to-end action in the 12 minutes so far. A shot opportunity for Arter on one side, and then immediately back the other way, we have a corner kick for River Plate. Comes in, cleared away. Looked like Lacerda there. Luca with the layoff. He can't find Arter's feet. Won by River Plate, but then stolen in the open play by Jefter. Back and forth right now, and Jaime Herrera, and we said it, it's going to be a battle for him to keep these two teams under control. He makes the call there. Looked like Sibeli. The foul's going to go against the captain.
Interesting that River Plate only committed 4 players into the penalty area on the corner kick. Palmeiras is a noticeably bigger team with the exception of Brandino. And so they may not feel corners are the way to go. By committing players forward, they might give Palmeiras a chance to counter.
Vitinho and Arter have swapped wings here. Both of them we expect to have full freedom to really float around from coach Bruno Petri in this game. Vitinho we've seen start out left, but really has the license to float in field, just find the game wherever he can. He's been the difference maker for this team all tournament. The winner of this game, as you see the nutmeg there.
Ole.
Lopez gets the ball back, one away though. And you gotta think, if you're Victoria, you're a holding midfielder that grew up playing in Brazil on this Palmeiras team. He's probably had that happen to him once or twice in his life before.
Not by an Argentine though.
That might be true. Now this game may have had a little bit more juice if possible, because Gianluca Simeone, son of Diego Simeone, who if you've ever seen play, plays with the same bite and tenacity that Diego played with and now coaches with, is a part of this team. He's not here right now, one of the leaders of this front line, but Lopez himself has been a heavy offensive factor for this team. But it would have been fun to see Simeone battle against Palmeiras. An opening there. Arter has a little bit of space in the box. Gets by 2, still has the ball to Vitinho. His shot blocked off Brandino. And that header will go out of bounds. And we see how quickly both these teams can turn possession into dangerous attack.
And it really was great footwork and movement by Luca from Palmeiras, turning the defense one way, slipping it through another. Unfortunately, I think the scouting report is out. Arter's all left foot, and River Plate covered that left. He juggled onto his right, but was never going to hit it that way. And by then, the River Plate defense had recovered.
Yeah, Vitinho, a dominant right-footed player as well. We've seen him use his left at times, but really has worked his way onto his right foot, mainly playing out wide left so he can come in on that foot and strike towards goal. See how that affects him out wide. Like you said, Arthur, dominant left-footed player. So about 15 minutes gone here in this first half, Jonathan. These two teams, they don't look unsettled, but neither really dominating play either way.
No, that's what's great about it. This is a blast to watch. It's open, there's tricks, not every pass is connecting, but players are having fun and competing, and it sounds like a cliche, but this is really one of the more skillful games we've seen, that last passing sequence notwithstanding, and it's been fun to watch.
Vicinho can't save that one. And he'll go out for a throw-in. Taken down there by Vivanco. Lopez runs onto it. It's blocked away by Pedro. And he'll go out for a throw-in. So as the sun begins to move towards the other side, a little bit of shade coming out on this field. To open up the stadium today, Toyota Stadium, the New York Red Bulls knocked off the LA Galaxy 1-0. And another rivalry we saw play out at this U17 level. LA Galaxy picking up a red card, the New York Red Bulls getting their 1-0 victory, man up. Brian Saramago getting the goal. Then we saw another all-international matchup, Sagantos out of Japan taking on Deportivo Independiente Medellin. Medellin able to push themselves out to a 2-0 victory, so they'll face off against the Red Bulls in the Premier Division Championship on Saturday. So corner kick comes in, knocked away. But these two teams looking to set the table for the championship final, which will be 7 p.m. here at Toyota Stadium on Saturday night. And they're trying to set the tone here in this first half of this first semifinal. Vicinho here with a little bit of space. And you can see Vicinho used to having a true center forward maybe to play off of there. He hasn't really had that so far with Luka and Arthur filling in that role, and he's been a little bit more anonymous than we've seen in other games.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that they find ways to get him the ball as the half goes on. River Plate has been getting more comfortable holding the ball longer over the last couple of minutes. So Palmeiras hasn't had the chance to find Vicinho without the ball.
Amaria, the mistake there. Diego Amaria sitting a little bit deeper than we saw him in some of the other games. I'm sure that's part of that is to the credit of the Palmeiras attack. A foul called here, and immediately Jaime Herrera up with the yellow card. Second of the game to this River Plate team, and that one's going to go against Vera. Mauricio Vera, number 11, picking up a yellow card along with Diego Amaria.
It's pretty clear Jaime Herrera wants control of this game. He wants it right away. Any challenge he feels is even close to the line, you're going to get a yellow card now so that you won't make the same challenge in the second half.
And it's also keeping those arguments, those post-foul arguments, the complaints, the group of 5 players maybe holding up an imaginary card away so far.
Obviously what you hope ends up not happening is that it turns into a red card because he had to give a second yellow.
Vivanco with the long ball there. Controlled and cleared out by Palmeiras. Out wide now to Vicinho's feet. He can't lay it off to Luka. Both coaches out on the edge of their technical areas. Attempt to lay it out wide there towards Arthur. Palmeiras picks up the ball again. Vicinho is able to get it out there. Tough slide tackle though comes in from Fernandez. Arthur back on the ball, and he goes to the ground right in front of Jaime Herrera. The referee in perfect position, and he says play on.
Couple of really dangerous tackles there from the River Plate backline, and they handled it well. But you can see the danger of Vicinho and Rafael when they are facing goal.
Free kick now for River. And River's a team that doesn't need to dominate in possession to create their opportunities. Lethal on the counter, especially through the feet of this man, Claudio Lopez. Look like Vera has the ball stolen off him, bangs back and forth here. Palmeiras a little space to dribble into. Archer not able to connect there.
Vitinho, you think of him as a guy who maybe goes down softly, but when he wants to, very strong. He had great use of his body in the center circle there to almost play that target forward role and hold the ball up for Palmeiras.
Luca here on the ball finds Vitinho's feet. Vitinho's got some space, hits it with his right, but a slow curler. Can't get much power on it, couldn't get it off the ground. An easy take there from Muth.
I would have rather seen him move closer to goal before letting that one go. I think he had the space to do it. But again, he's a little bit unpredictable sometimes.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You have those special players who see things that normal people don't. I mean, sometimes you're going to be bewildered, but other times you're going to be amazed. Chance here now on the far post. Evandro closing down. And Ziccarelli trying to find an opening, trying to find some space. Is eventually able to slip the pass to Amarilla. Big tackle there from Jefter to clear it off the foot of Amarilla. You can hear these tackles coming in from up here. High over the Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. This first semifinal has gotten off to a fast start. Arter there to Luca, back to Arter. Arter may have a shot opportunity. Sabelli blocks it away to go out for a Palmeiras corner kick. Jonathan, end-to-end action so far.
Yeah, and we've seen that wide positioning of River Plate's forwards almost caught Evandro off guard at one end of the field. Then at the other, this is exactly what Palmeiras wants its front three to do. Arter runs inside to Luca, back to Arter. Very dangerous. Just maybe a little predictable there in terms of needing to stay on his left foot for the shot.
Vitinho here will take his right-footed service. Hits it in towards that near post, cleared away easily by River Plate. Kept in bounds, eventually falling to the foot of Amarilla, who's pulled down, it looked like, by Victoria there.
A little casual from Vitinho, both chasing the corner kick once it was cleared, and then chasing the ball once it almost turned over to River Plate.
Vitinho has that special Brazilian moxie that you very rarely see from players. He never looks rattled, whether it's excited or frustrated. And it's very interesting to watch as other teams really start to get physical with him, trying to contend with his technical ability. A lot of times you expect to see players exhausted, a little bit angry maybe when they're getting knocked down. Vitinho, no emotion from him, just always relaxed.
I think he expects to be the target of the opponent's defense every time he plays.
And it's one of the things that so many people have talked about with Messi is always fouled and never really gets himself emotionally out of control. Good block here for River. Vera tries to launch them the other way. Ziccarelli onsides here. Facing off against Lacerda, gets himself on his right foot, screws that shot, and it rolls in! What a strike there! Enzo Ziccarelli gets himself in the box, just an acre of space. It looked like he hadn't hit it well. Gets enough power on it. The movement is vicious, and it takes it past Vinicius.
Great angle to look at this. I think Vinicius thinks this is going wide. He doesn't even dive until the ball's past him. That play all started with the right back for Palmeiras, Pedro, committing to the attack. That left Evandro outside as center back, one-on-one with Ziccarelli. I think he used a little pick there to create some space, get that shot off. There's a reason he had a hat trick against Kansas City. This guy, he's not the greatest outside the penalty area, but get him in the last 20 yards. Whew. He's dangerous.
True goal scorer here. He sizes up his man. He's able to kind of use Luca as a pick, gets himself to the top of the box and curls that shot in. And Jonathan, exactly what we said. Palmeiras not dominating, but the better in possession, and yet River Plate lethal when they get their one or two opportunities.
Both teams, when they open up and commit numbers forward, leave space for that counterattack. And in a way, both of these teams are more dangerous counterattacking. And so committing numbers forward really puts you in a tough spot.
And now Palmeiras, of course, they don't have to risk everything and go forward so early. But at some point, they will need to get a goal. They weren't able to get one against Frankfurt in the last game.
I just kind of want to watch Artur dribble. Can we just set that up? I don't know why he's the number 16. He seems maybe the most technical player, the most comfortable taking players on 1v1.
Ooh, I think Vitinho may have a little bit of an argument with you on that one.
I didn't say he should take 11.
But we'd love to see that matchup maybe one day. That skills competition. Right now, it's Ziccarelli with the lone goal so far. He's been able to turn his opportunities into gold. Artur there pushed off the ball.
You can't stop playing and look at the referee. It's not going to work at any elite level, and it's not working in this game.
Vivanco did a good job of getting that ball off of Artur. Pedro now once again, you said, coming forward. Got caught forward on the goal that they did score. Vitinho dropping deep for possession. All tackled away there by Vera. This River Plate team always leaves two forwards up the field. Everyone else drops in to defend, but it changes who those players are. They're all able to defend as well as sit up top.
And they leave them wide, which is a different look. It really messes with the defense because the center backs are taught to stay in the middle of the field.
And this Palmeiras team, a team that likes to get their fullbacks forward, means that those center backs do have to take a few steps wider than they're comfortable with to mark, because Pedro and Rafael are not going to sit back and defend throughout the game. They're going to get forward and be a part of the attack. Just over 27 minutes played so far here in the first half. 35-minute halves here at the Generation Adidas Cup. 5 substitutions for either team. Cannot return when you are subbed out. If we are tied after our 70 minutes of regular time plus stoppage time, we will go directly into penalty kicks. Vitinho on the free kick. Knocked away at that near post by Vera.
Disappointing from Vitinho today with the set-piece service. So good to start the tournament on Sunday. Just not there today.
Turnover there to Ziccarelli. The goal scorer's got a teammate if he can get out in front of Lopez. He tried to stab at it with that right foot.
That was a 3-on-1 if he had made the right pass. Tried to play it behind the defender. And a little too ambitious, put it closer to the goalkeeper Vinicius than he wanted.
Vitinho looks to switch the field to Pedro.
And even there, it's supposed to be a switch to a wide open outside back. No, River Plate's forwards are covering the outside backs.
Yeah, Ziccarelli has been a pain now, a thorn in these last 2 or 3 switch field balls for Palmeiras. They'll have to adjust.
Just a very different way of playing than most opponents that you see and that Palmeiras has been seeing in this tournament. And so what becomes muscle memory, look to switch the field, this player will be open, is not the case in this formation.
Rafael comes away with the steal. River Plate, of course, one of the 2 biggest clubs in Argentina, a club that's known for its strikers, known for the great forwards that have come out over the last few years. Hernan Crespo, Gonzalo Higuain, Radamel Falcao, Juan Pablo Angel, Ariel Ortega. The list just goes on and on.
I've heard of a few of those guys, I think.
1 or 2 of them played soccer professionally. Kavanaghi there now, along with Teo Gutierrez, the Colombian World Cup and international star. And this River Plate team with Claudio Lopez and Ziccarelli, the next in line, along with Gianluca Simeone. Foul called here against Vera. Put down quickly and taken. Palmeiras going to exploit this left-hand side. Jefter there. His touch will go out of bounds, trying to connect with Rafael. Now Palmeiras scores the goal for, River Plate scores that goal for Palmeiras. Do you change anything, or is it just a matter of trusting your style and system, at least until the 55th, 60th minute that you'll get chances?
I don't think you need to change anything as far as how you approach the game. You need to tweak some things because they're catching Palmeiras off guard with this wide play. In terms of their attack, no, I think you're comfortable that you're going to create chances. And certainly nothing immediate, maybe some minor things at halftime. But defensively, they do need to adjust.
And Tawa, of course, sitting on that bench as a center forward option. Great job stepping up there from Evandro. Took that ball right off Amarillo's foot. Perfect timing. A free kick called by Herrera.
And this is what that system does. It forces the center back to start the attack. And we've seen Palmeiras capable of doing it through Evandro. But it's a very different look than maybe they were intending.
Arthur and Luca battling here. They're still in possession. Vicinho gets it to the box, flashes his shot. And it looks like Muth got a save to it, a hand to it. And it's going to go out for a corner kick. And really something out of nothing here. A little bit of a battle, and Vicinho turns on it quickly. Tries to catch the goalkeeper out of position. Muth does get a touch to it in the end. Was not on frame, but didn't want to take the chance. Corner comes in here for Vicinho once again at that near post. Jonathan Yardley.
Really uncharacteristic. I came to see Vicinho put in good set piece delivery, and he's not doing it. That's an under-17 tournament for you.
Yeah, we've talked about it all tournament. We've seen great moments from every team throughout this tournament, but consistency always tough with under-17 players, with teenagers really, these players. High level of technique, ability, and soccer IQ.
With some of the other games we've done, we've talked about how young the teams were, a lot of 99s and 2000s. Not the case with these two. These are mostly 98s, a few talented 99s playing up.
And these players on the verge of becoming professionals, but still developing and learning how to see the game, how to read the game, how to react. That's been the big talking points for us in this tournament, as well as with the coaches. The ability to change the game once you go into halftime and hear what your coach has to say, but maybe learning how to do it in open play, how to adjust yourself out on the field and not have to have your coach really sit you down and talk you through it.
Vicinho looks lost right now. He just gave the ball away again with a really casual pass. And you kind of love that casual sense of I can do whatever I want when it wins you games, but when it turns the ball over, it's frustrating.
Schefter there gets it tackled away from him and lands at the feet of Rafael, but now River a chance to counter. I think that pass was blocked, but it landed at the feet of Amarilla. Amarilla back now to Sabelli. Amarilla, number 10, has really ran the show throughout the tournament. He's been sitting a little deeper this game, playing more defensively in the last game of the group stage against Kansas City, who was playing as more of a pushed high, classic number 10, less defensive responsibilities, allowed to float around and create for his teammates. He's been working a little bit harder in that center midfield in this game, but he's done so successfully. Switch of the field almost picked off there from Victorio Rafael. Some space to run into. Great tackle in the end by Fernandez. Christian Fernandez back to his captain Sabelli. As we approach halftime, River Plate Palmeiras in our first generation Adidas Cup semi-final of the championship division here on MLSsoccer.com. David Goss, Jonathan Yardley, watching one of the great rivalries in the world of soccer, Brazil versus Argentina, play out here at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. A 1-0 lead so far for River Plate through the wonderful strike of Zicarelli, and a yellow card now issued to number 15, Ronatan, as he took down Claudio Lopez, charging into the box. See here, Lopez skips right by him.
Just mistimed, and pretty clear after the way the earlier challenges were handled that this would be a yellow card.
Jaime Herrera, our head referee, has had tight control of this one, not allowing it to get out of hand, as the River Plate Youth Academy fans sitting down below us have had a promising result so far go on in front of them. Looks like Amarillo standing over this one with his right foot. He shoots, saved in the end by Vinicius. It looked like it was just wide of frame, but he couldn't know. Had to save it, and then Jaime Herrera will blow the whistle. That's the end of first half action. Jonathan, we expected an exciting game, and we got one so far.
Yeah, we got one. There's chances on both sides, which has been fun to see. I think River Plate catching Palmeiras by surprise in a couple of situations, just in terms of where they were on the field and how they approached the situation. Palmeiras, I got a feeling there's going to be some subs because Johnny, Andrew, Tawa, their numbers are less than 10, which usually means in Brazil that you're a starter. And I have a feeling maybe 2 games in 2 days, Bruno Petri was waiting for the second half to introduce some fresh legs.
So some tweaks necessary for Palmeiras, dominating possession early on, but the goal did come from Ziccarelli the other direction, and this River Plate team now leading 1-0. We'll be back with all your second half action here on MLSsoccer.com on this fantastic first semifinal between River Plate and Palmeiras. by Palmeiras. The scream from the crowd as we begin our second half of action. River Plate leading Palmeiras 1-0 here on MLSsoccer.com in the first semifinal of the championship division of the 2015 Generation Adidas Cup. David Goss and Jonathan Yardley joining you here for this second half of play. 3 substitutions for Palmeiras that we will let you know about as they try and change things up. So we begin this second half, 2 35-minute halves to decide the winner, who will go into the championship to face off against Frankfurt and FC Dallas. 5 substitutions allowed for both teams. You cannot re-enter once you've been subbed out. We have the substitutions for Palmeiras: number 5, Johnny; number 13, Afonso; and number 18, Lucas, have checked in. Coming out so far, we know Evandro has come out. Number 2, Pedro, the right back, and Victorio, the center midfielder, have all come out. Bruno Petri, the head coach of this Palmeiras team, trying to change things up.
And so Lucas is going to play forward, and this will give them a bit of a different look. I think Vitinho and Archer, as we suspected, a little lost without having somebody up there in front of him to play off of. Luca's a very different type of player. Afonso in for Pedro at right back. That's a straight-up change. And then Evandro, the captain, taken out. Remember, he was beaten for the goal. I don't know if there's more there than meets the eye. But Johnny, who we've seen it play midfield, taking his spot at center back, taking the captain's armband as well.
And a heavy collision there, it looked like, between Vitinho and Bruno Fernandes, the right back. Just the throw-in giving. Throw in here. Rafael. Good work from the substitute Lucas to maintain possession. Vitinho with the rollover. He gets sandwiched. The referee says play on. Jaime Herrera, our referee, has been right on top of every major call that he's had to make. Vitinho finding some space. Gets it to Luca. Cleared away in the end by Sibeli.
Yeah, Johnny's first clearance there, not what he was trying to do. He was trying to get it out wide where he had some support. Important in a game like this, played at such a high speed with such high potential among players on both sides, that the substitutes come in and get up to speed right away.
That's a learning process experience there as well for all of these players who were always the starters on their teams. As they start to move into the bigger academies, they're the superstars from around the Buenos Aires or Sao Paulo area. They move in to these major clubs and start to learn their different roles to be part of a successful team.
And you can see right there, the logical pass for the center back Lacerda was to switch it to his right back. But because of the way River plays, the right back and the right winger were covered, and he ended up just lumping it forward.
And this Palmeiras team doesn't really have a ball-dominant center midfielder who runs the show in there. So not fitting their style. They want to get it out wide. Vitinho will float in, as will Arter. But the two predominantly pick up positions out wide. Free kick coming in here from Vitinho. Clipped in. Matus comes out, and the foul is called by Herrera. But, Jonathan, I think for your point of view, better service there from Vitinho.
Yeah, and he hit it with backspin rather than trying to curl it. He's also got the wind at his back now, so it's a bit of a different approach. But for River Plate, this has kind of been their MO for the tournament. Get a 1-goal lead, hold it for a while, wait for the other team to go forward, and kill them with a late goal. They did that against Toronto. They did that even with 10 men against Aspire. This is a team that's so clinical in front of goal. That's been the difference so far in the tournament. It's why they've outscored opponents 9-0 and are currently looking like favorites.
Yeah, similar to what we saw in Independiente. They don't need numbers to score. A lot of their attackers, especially in Lopez, and we already saw in Zicarelli, they can create goals by themselves if you give them some space, ability to beat 1 or 2 players one-on-one. As the goalkeeper here, Ezekiel Muth, gets his gloves back on. He actually begins play before he's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that decision.
These River Plate players coming out ready for a fight, ready for a battle, excuse me, but have shown their flair and their skill as well.
Looks like Palmeiras wants to put on a little bit more pressure, close the ball down quickly against River this half.
Vecino able to shield that one, taken off of him. Still kept alive by Jefter. Jefter and Ronaton sitting in those deep midfield roles.
Ooh,
a wild tackle comes in there.
That was Vivanco.
Vivanco, the left back, sliding in very early on one of our substitutes, Afonso. And Afonso taken down.
All right, so Vecino ran over there to take that. That's a good sign.
Vecino standing over it. Looks like along with
Luca, I believe.
Service, an opportunity to come in here. Both the center backs up. Vecino swings it in. It's alive in the box. Still alive. The header wasn't directed on goal, although he was wide open. It looked like Lacerda, the center back, on the far post, and he couldn't get it on frame.
All right, this is a weakness. It's taken me 3.5 games. River have a weakness. Their goalkeeper cannot handle crosses. The one that foul was called on, the previous one, that was his fault too.
So Muth struggling a little bit to come out. Slide tackle coming in there. It looked like the captain, Sibeli.
The paw was already out, which is why it's not going to be a foul.
And Sibeli now trying to take his time, maybe burn a little bit of clock, but Sibeli fortunate there. And we've seen now 2 or 3 times a River Plate player go to ground, maybe a little earlier than they should have, and almost getting called for a bad foul.
But this is interesting because Palmeiras have a height advantage and somewhat of a physicality advantage, again with the exception of Brondino. If they can get good service from these set pieces, Muth seems like he can be had.
Great step there from Johnny. Luca now pushing it upfield to Vecino. Vecino can't get it out of his feet. Now he does, but a bad pass out wide. And a turnover, and now Ziccarelli with the chance to counter. He's going to beat Johnny to that ball. Gets it around him. He's got open space. Puts the cross in for his partner Lopez, and too far in front of him. Vera follows it up on the far post. And once again we see this River Plate team, as this one bounces back out wide, their ability to be lethal in the counterattack.
This is exactly what's made them the team of the tournament so far, the most successful team in the tournament so far. Any opportunity to run at goal, it's not just one player by himself, it's one player with support and options, and they've turned those into goals time and time again.
Arthur here in a battle. He gets taken down from behind, right in front of Jaime Herrera. He calls the free kick in favor of him. The foul called against Barrios, and Jaime Herrera does a good job. He gets up in the face of Arthur while he's screaming for the foul. He makes himself known. He's able to calm these guys down a little bit. He does not give a yellow card there for Barrios, which is fortunate. Barrios, if he were to pick one up, all the center midfielders for River Plate would be sitting on a yellow card. And now we're starting to get in Vecino territory.
I thought he was going to get a yellow card in the first half. I think he might have, and I think this is now closer to let them play time. And yes, I think Vecino is warm now, and so I'm curious to see this one.
Vecino standing over this one. Herrera gives his whistle. The shot comes in. Easily taken in the end by Muth. On frame, but not enough power, not enough direction there, Jonathan, to get that one to go in.
I've been hearing legendary tales all week about his free kicks from Sunday against Philadelphia. Not enough pace on that, especially with the wind behind him.
I do apologize. I was the one telling those legendary tales. He had 2 free kicks.
You weren't the only one. I heard it from other people too.
He was able to curl it in from a similar area, top of the box, with his right foot to the far post expertly twice in a row. One hit the post, the other one found the back of the net. Hasn't been able to show that production so far in this game. This man has, though. Ziccarelli, the lone goal so far. Bad turnover, though, in his own half. Vicinho now gets it taken off of him. Vicinho struggling with the high pressure and intensity of this River Plate team. And he is able to knock that one off of Sibeli and out for a Palmeiras throw-in. And Vicinho, while he's a bit of a skinny guy and definitely a creative player, he definitely shows
a little bit more than he wanted to right there.
Absolutely. He definitely shows a little bit of grit and strength when he's in the tackle when he wants to. So now we'll see who Palmeiras will push up into this one. You'd expect Johnny as well as Lacerda to get in. Muth has struggled with this service. On that near post, the attempted flick on it looked like by Lucas, the substitute. He wasn't able to get that on frame. What do you think about that idea, though, Jonathan?
It's better. It's still not really where they want to be, but I think he's got Muth going side to side now, not sure where each of these is going.
Zicarelli flicks that one on.
We've seen from Zicarelli in this game as well, not just a goal scorer. We've seen him take some guys one-on-one, create some chances both for himself and for others. And I confess, coming in, I had kind of thought of him as just a guy in and around the 18, and he's shown me a little bit more depth to his game today.
When we saw that counterattack that he was able to launch to beat Rafael in the open field as well as Lacerda and get himself into the box. Free kick taken now for River Plate. River Plate exactly where they want to be. Sitting back, defending well in numbers at times, able to get a goal of a dangerous counterattack through Zicarelli. They've stymied the Palmeiras attack so far.
It's a great job of tracking by Barrios. The central midfielder is right back and stepped inside. He came all the way back to cover him.
And that's one of the things, one of the other prime successes of this River Plate Academy has been their holding midfielders. A long shot taken here over the head of Muth. Looked like off the foot of Jefter there. Or not Jefter. Another one named Brazilian. I don't know if we could find any. Ronatan. Brandino, Sibeli haven't had that much bother, the two center backs. The fullbacks have had some battling to do. Of course, the center midfielders have. But Sibeli and Brandino have been well protected so far. Vicinho trying to make a difference there. Jaime Herrera right on top of that one. Legal tackle there from Fernandez. Then the response from Jefter. And a foul called, and now Jefter with his arms out to Fernandez like, what do you expect from me?
I think he's got Vicinho's back. I think the whole team have Vicinho's back.
Yeah, that's definitely in Jefter's job description as that holding midfielder.
All right, that was a little too much.
Trying to cap Muth out of position and the long shot. But you do always see with those great attacking players, the Ronaldinhos, the Neymars, you have to have the Gustavos or the Gilberto Silvas or the Emersons to give that little bit of grit and maybe keep everyone in line when they have to.
For every David Goss, there has to be a Jonathan Yardley
Absolutely.
backing him up.
The flair and the magician. We said they'd think we were Ronaldinho and Cuauhtémoc Blanco, although it turns out I'm both of them. Artur there with the layoff. Luca here has been more quiet in the second half, dropping a little deeper.
This has been so key to the River Plate game plan today. Every time Luca or Vicinho has the ball within the width of the 18-yard box, there's two players on them. And they're dribblers. They love this. They try and split them. More often than not, you're going to lose that.
And this is what this Generation Adidas Cup was all about. The MLS High Brass wanted to bring in the best academies in the world, the best players in the world, to let MLS challenge themselves, as well as let MLS see, to learn, to see how much farther they can go. And these two teams, River Plate and Palmeiras, have both done that for the MLS teams and also given an example of how to learn, how to develop, how to adjust in game at times, although River Plate doing that much better in this game than Palmeiras. Arthur here on the dribble, gets by 2. Tried to find the feet of Lucas. Jaime Herrera gets himself involved.
Bad tackle.
And then a bad tackle there. It looked like by Jefter, or potentially Ronatan. Ronatan it was, and he picks up a yellow card.
He's on a yellow. That's it.
And there it is. The second yellow card there of the game for Ronatan, and he's sent off for that tackle.
We knew it was a possibility with all the yellow cards that were handed out in the first half. He got his right at the end of the first half. And when the subs were made, I was a bit surprised that he wasn't taken out just because of that yellow. I mean, that was a no-doubter.
And you have to think maybe the fact that he had a yellow slipped his mind, because it was an unnecessary tackle in the middle of the field. There wasn't really any danger in the play at the time for River Plate. And now Palmeiras has to adjust. They need to score a goal. They have just about 20 minutes left here in this second half of this Generation Adidas Cup semifinal to get a goal and push this game to penalty kicks, potentially get 2 in the win. But this plays right into the hands of River. Wide open space here. Amaria's pass doesn't find the feet of anyone. Arthur, a little bit of space, has absolutely no help near him. Well defended in the end. And now River looking to launch the attack.
Going to be interesting to see how Palmeiras reorganizes here. Ronatan was playing as a holding player, and it's going to require a little bit more defensive work, ball-winning work from somebody. The question is, who?
Yeah, you would think that man would be Luca, dropping a little bit deeper, allowing Vicinho and Arthur maybe to take up the bulk of the attacking midfield role. Luca now trying to chase that ball back down. For River Plate, we haven't seen them feel the need to possess the ball too much. Now man up, though, you would think it would be in their favor. Vicinho here with some open space. He's got Arthur. Arthur can't catch that one, and it rolls out for a goal kick. But Jonathan, does River adjust in any way and say to themselves, more man up, let's get on the ball, let's push into the Palmeiras half and knock it around, or they continue to sit a little bit deeper with numbers and counter?
I think you look to have possession and kill the game with possession, right? The best defense is a good offense, but you don't take too many chances. You don't leave yourself exposed to the counterattack, and with a one-man advantage, you can afford to do that. You can commit some numbers, but not all numbers.
Yeah, you expect maybe to see one of the holding midfielders, one of the fullbacks pushing up a little bit higher permanently, but not risking too much. This cross is going to get all the way over. The goal scorer, Ciccarelli, looking for his second. The shot stopped on the line by Johnny and cleared away. Ciccarelli, second chance, high and wide. The goalkeeper out. Ciccarelli with the chance to put this game away, and it looked like Johnny sat on the ball and stopped it on that goal line.
It's one of the most unorthodox plays I've ever seen as a defender, but hey, effective.
So the corner to come in. Flicked on at the near post, still alive in the box. Lopez going out wide left to get possession. He's got Vera, he gets by 1. Open in the box, the cross comes in and cleared away by Rafael. It got through the arms of the goalkeeper and was sitting right there in the middle of the box. Still alive for River Plate. River Plate's attack really starting to kick into gear now. The man advantage against Palmeiras and the goal advantage. Sabelli, the captain, wins another corner kick. It looks like we're going to have 2 substitutions.
They do not appear to be taking my advice. They're committing as many numbers as they want forward and trying to knock this one out with the next goal.
And with that space, with that extra man that they've been able to enjoy so far. It looks like for Palmeiras, checking in is number 7, Andrew, in place of number 10, Luca. And for River Plate, number 15, Mauro Burachaga, to check in. The man he's checking in for went off on that end line. We'll get it to you as soon as we can. So first substitution of the game for River. Battle there at that near post. It goes out for another corner kick. Andrew brought in, immediately set to defensive duties. Short corner taken. Misplayed though, and Palmeiras a chance to counter the other way. Vicinho, the ball in some open space. Didn't have any teammates around him. Could have played the early ball down the line to Arter. Now Amaria killing the momentum of a little bit. And Amaria now you'd expect to really start to put his fingerprints on this game. That extra man and some more possession, a chance to really float around the field, control the tempo, control the point of attack.
Tackles are starting to fly from Palmeiras chasing the ball.
Yeah, Palmeiras very frustrated. Jaime Herrera trying to get it back under control.
Mauricio Vera was the man who came out for River Plate, and one of the factors, I think he's on a yellow card. River Plate now in position to advance to the final. Don't want to risk missing anybody else due to suspension.
Yeah, the coach allowed to now, after that yellow card, to play his substitutions a little bit differently with this different situation. Didn't waste his substitutes or spend his subs at halftime, and now has an opportunity to react to the events of this second half. If you're just joining us, Palmeiras versus River Plate, Brazil, Argentina here, Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. The first semifinal of back-to-back championship division semifinals of the 2015 Generation Adidas Cup here on MLSsoccer.com. David Goss and Jonathan Yardley. One goal so far between these two teams. Zicarelli, the number 9 for this River Plate team, with his 4th goal of the competition. Got us started in the first half. The only other major note to mention, Ronatan, the number 15, the holding midfielder of Palmeiras, shown a second yellow card and a red card here in this second half. But that hasn't stopped this Palmeiras player from trying to attack. Lucas there drawing the foul deep in the corner. And a chance for Palmeiras to get their big bodies from the center back, Lacerda and Johnny, up the field.
Yeah, this is their chance. Vicinho's set-piece service has gotten better as the game has gone on. They're not going to do a lot for the run of play. River Plate's too good for that. So this is a really big chance for Palmeiras, either from the first ball or in the second wave if they can put it back in.
We have seen the River Plate number 1, Ezekiel Muth, the goalkeeper, struggle a little bit coming out of goal on set pieces, misjudging 2 so far. Vicinho here, floated in 1 right before Arter, it looked like, by River Plate. Vicinho now trying to get a second cross in. He does, still alive. Flipped on by Arter there, but can't get it on frame and frustrated a little with himself.
But look at how simple that was for Vicinho to get free. Little shimmy of the hips, step to his right, and he's so quick that he already had not just a half step, but a full step.
I'm sorry to all the people out there that weren't in this booth to see Jonathan Yardley just do his best shimmy of the hips impersonation. But Vicinho, you got to wonder, he's a right-footed dominant player. You want him on the left so he can cut in and shoot. Maybe now a chance to push him out wide right and allow him to come in and cross for his teammates. Lopez battling here, losing out to Johnny. That eventually will go out off of River Plate.
I'm a big Johnny fan, as you might imagine. This particular Johnny, though, I'm really surprised he didn't start the game. And they have to use him at a different position at center back here in the second half, but kind of wonder how the first half would have gone if he had been in there.
For every team in this tournament, 5 games played in 6 days. 7 days. So a lot of movement of rosters, or excuse me, movement of lineups for a lot of these teams. We, of course, had our full complement of MLS teams, 17 academies here. Vancouver and Montreal, as well as the newly minted NYCFC Academy not. Here, Chivas USA, well represented. They've played well throughout this tournament. And then a handful of international teams split between the Premier and Champions divisions. And River Plate and Palmeiras have been two of the most impressive teams here in Texas this week. And this battle, Jonathan, has lived up to what we expected. Illegal throwing called here.
Yeah, that's not what you would expect from River Plate Palmeiras. But no, in general, the intensity has been good. The skill level has been good. We'd like to see each team, create a little bit more in the final third, but it's so evenly balanced that you're not going to see as many chances maybe as we do in the other games.
And we've seen now this red card maybe from Ronatan as Vicinho shows off a bit of skill, still on the ball. And this is where he's at his best, going in. Muth comes off his line and wins it right at the feet of Vicinho. A big save there from Muth.
Yeah, fair all the way around for me. Vicinho went into that hard. Muth went into it hard. There should be no hard feelings, and a handshake between the two behind the play.
But Vicinho shows you that flair, that ability, the pace, the quick touch, the close control when he's able to get a couple acres of space. And you had said it earlier, River Plate, every time he picks up the ball within the width of the 18s, he constantly has two around him. That time, only one man around him, and once he gets by him, he had open space to run into. Free kick called here. The foul called against Arter. Sabelli, the captain, takes it. Sabelli and Brandino have both been immense at center back, marshalling this defense.
One literally, one figuratively.
A chance here maybe for Lucas. He's looked like he was dragged down. The assistant referee, Jennifer Garner, right on top of it. Jaime Herrera says play on. Palmeiras bench not happy. The fourth official immediately going over to that bench, Randall Kelly, and telling them to stay off the field. And now Vicinho going down.
Studs were showing there.
And it looks like the yellow card's going to go to Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez, the right back for this River Plate team. And Jonathan, this River Plate team man up now, but Palmeiras is able to still give them some trouble offensively.
I think it's mostly a mindset thing. Palmeiras needs to attack the game, and so their players know that. River Plate needs to defend, and they know that. And it's much easier said than done to keep pushing for the second goal when you know you're up 1-0.
Second substitution coming now for River Plate. Valentino Cernaz checking in. And it looked like he's coming in place of Amaria, the number 10 for River Plate. Vicinho's free kick hits directly off the wall. Palmeiras will try and keep it in. Cernaz will look to counter. Hit back in, a chance here for Arter. Muth coming out strong, goes through Arthur, and Jaime Herrera gives him a free kick. It looked like Arter had a legitimate play on that ball, running through. Muth coming out, you have to say wildly, gets a heavy punch to that one, and then the collision down low, and that's always going to be called a foul. The goalkeeper is in the air, exposed, and the referee, Jaime Herrera, makes that call.
And Maria coming off for River Plate, another player with a yellow card coming out of the game. Different substitution pattern than we saw from Palmeiras, and it's cost them. They've been down a man for the last 15 minutes.
And Amaria, wearing that number 10, really does play as a number 10 for this team. You have to wonder, only a few minutes left, but if that will hurt River Plate when they're in possession. Brandino heads that one out over his own end line for a corner kick opportunity. We've said it a lot this game. Can Palmeiras be effective with these set pieces?
That was interesting. Palmeiras has a long throw there that we haven't seen a lot of in the tournament. Really messed Brandino up and earned this corner.
Vicinho, of course, to take. This one high in the box. Archer can't win it. Jefter now trying to keep it in.
He committed and left this 1v1 at the back.
Great clearance in the end, it looked like, from Rafael. Now the goalkeeper has to come off his line and clear, and he does so well. Vinicius with that play, and like you said, Palmeiras starting to throw numbers forward, take a couple risks. Rafael with a huge over-the-head clearance there to avoid the breakaway for Claudio Lopez, which you have to say is almost an automatic goal. 65th minute here. Time's starting to run down this 35-minute second half. Ziccarelli gets the wrong side of Rafael. Maintains possession. Great tackle in the end, though, from Johnny. Ziccarelli tackles it back, and it's going to go out for a throw-in. Palmeiras. River here. Brazil versus Argentina. This is one of the games everyone was looking forward to. The other game everyone's been looking forward to, Eintracht Frankfurt, who's come in to this tournament with 3 straight clean sheets and victories, facing off against FC Dallas, the only undefeated MLS team in the Champions Division. That'll be coming up next on MLSsoccer.com, and they'll face the winner of this matchup. And with time running down, River Plate trying to see out their 1-goal lead, which they got from Enzo Ziccarelli, their number 9, his 4th goal of the tournament. And here's the gamble for Palmeiras, center back for striker. Coming off here is the other starting center back, Lacerda. And coming on is number 9, Tawa. Tawa started some of their other games, and now both starting center backs have been substituted out in this game, which is rare to see for Palmeiras. Palmeiras working it around, trying to find an opening. Fortunate maybe a little bit that Johnny picked up a free kick call there. Not a lot of time left for the São Paulo club. Traveling up here from Brazil. Rafael's pass is intercepted. A chance to counter now. Vivanco here on the ball. The left back who's had to put up with attack after attack from Arthur and Vicinho and has held up well, as has this entire River Plate back line. You have to really be impressed by the way they've been able to defend. But a turnover there. Andrew, the substitute, up for Arthur. Archer's got the speed, Brandano's got the muscle. Brandino wins out there. A trip up in the middle of the field. Vivanco just clears it long to the substitute, Sir Nas, but he loses possession. Vicinho now, a little bit of space, a chance to pick his head up. His pass is blocked, though, by Fernandez.
That was the opportunity. Now River gets to counter.
Lopez just can't catch up to that one. It'll be a throw into Palmeiras. About 2 minutes away from the end. The regular time will then have stoppage time.
I really thought that was the chance for Palmeiras. They had a roughly numbers even situation on the move, and Vicinho just couldn't pick out the right pass.
So coming on now. Coming off is our goal scorer, Enzo Ziccarelli. Put himself and his team into the lead, which they've been able to hold so far. His 4th goal of the tournament. And now coming off, he scored that one, of course, in the 29th minute. Right there towards the end of the first half. Now coming off in place of Tessari. Palmeiras just has not had the answer. River Plate, they've been physical. When they've had to in the attack, they've been organized as well. Played so well, and Claudio Lopez now. The danger man, his shot saved, deflected there off of Afonso and then cleared by Afonso in the end. A messy play there from Vinicius, but eventually cleared away. And just a mental mistake there by River Plate to give Palmeiras possession back when it's so crucial. Andrew trying to find the feet of Vitinho. Vitinho now gets on the ball. His touch too long. Brandino steps up and easily clears it away. Rafael has to get it up the field. He gets it to Andrew. Andrew now off. The substitute Lucas. But Vitinho can't reach that pass. And Claudio Lopez, you'd expect, would try and see these last few minutes out. Foul coming in against Rafael. Just over a minute into stoppage time now. Slowly taken here. River Plate in no rush. They've played exactly the game plan that they wanted to in this one. They had numbers around the ball when they had to. They were strong in the tackle, and they let their lethal front runners, Zicarelli, Lopez, and Amarilla, create opportunities for themselves, threaten that Palmeiras backline. Zicarelli able to dispatch the lone goal of this game so far, and what a phenomenal matchup it's been.
They've scored in the first half of all 4 games, with the exception of the game in which they got the red card, that when they scored early in the second half.
And it's going to be a free kick here, and you got to think for Palmeiras, the last opportunity, try and get everyone forward. Of course, both starting center backs have been subbed out, so that height advantage a little bit less. But Jefter, the goalkeeper Vinicius, goes forward. Could we see the rare goalkeeper goal? Mere seconds left, minutes left in this one. Palmeiras trying to tie it up and push this game directly into penalty kicks. Johnny's up the field, Jefter as well, Arter. Vitinho's service high. Vinicius goes up for it. Muth with the touch. A messy play again from him, but bailed out by that free kick call by Jaime Herrera, and that may have been it there for Palmeiras, Jonathan.
Goalkeeper's got to be stronger for me. You need someone who's going to take charge there. I don't care if there's another goalkeeper in your face. And look, to be fair, he did win the play. But I think that's something that either Eintracht Frankfurt, especially, or FC Dallas can try and target on Saturday.
Yeah, both those teams have a lot of height on their front line. Montes de Oca has had a fantastic tournament so far. The Eintracht Frankfurt team in Hefner, as well as Eva. Jaime Herrera calls another free kick. He's had a busy afternoon, but it's been cleanly played in the end for both teams. Unfortunately, a red card, but clearly the correct call.
Yeah, you'd have to say Jaime Herrera's done a good job. He's gotten all the big calls right. And it was the Palmeiras player, Ronatin's, responsibility for the red card. It wasn't the referee's.
Lucas trying to link up his teammates. Can't create anything there. Claudio Lopez here has some space. Looked like it went off the hand of Johnny, and a perfect shooting opportunity there for the substitute Cernaz. Couldn't get it on frame though. This River Plate team has had a few looks, especially on the counter, to stretch this lead, and they just haven't been able to do it. Just over 3 minutes into stoppage time here. Can't think there's much more time left. Arter loses out there to Barrios.
I wouldn't mind watching this game for a little while longer.
90, 120 minutes would be heavily entertaining. It's been everything that we want it to be. There's been skill, flair, great game plan for River Plate coming in, which they've stuck to, and they get the victory. So River Plate and Argentina coming out on top over Palmeiras and Brazil here in the Generation Adidas Cup first semifinal. They'll move on to the final at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday night here at Toyota Stadium. And we said it, Jonathan, highly entertaining. Great battle between these two teams. You have to be excited about what we just saw.
I'm really excited to see if somebody can challenge this River Plate MO. so good in the final third of the field, get an early goal, and hang on. I'd like to see somebody challenge them. I'd like to see River Plate play from behind. But hey, if no one's good enough to score against them, they're going to walk away as the best team. And right now, they do look like the favorites to win it, no matter who they play on Saturday.
And there you see River Plate, the winning team in this one, undefeated so far. 4 victories in this tournament, yet to concede a goal still, as they have rolled through opponents. Palmeiras put up a great fight. Ziccarelli, the lone goal in this one in the 29th minute, scored in the first half. Ronatan, a red card in the second half, changed up the complexion of this game, but Palmeiras still had possession throughout, still had opportunities, could not finish one off in the end. They've been a pleasure to watch so far in this Generation Adidas Cup. They'll have one more game in the consolation game, and we'll, of course, have one more River broadcast. But coming up within the hour, the last semifinal of the day, we've had 3 fantastic battles. This last one should be great. FC Dallas versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Of course, tune into MLSsoccer.com for all your Generation Adidas Cup news and notes, as well as for that stream for Jonathan Yardley and David Goss. We look forward to seeing you next game.